What is the Provider Self-Update? The Provider Self-Update, PSU, is a data collection tool for gathering information about early years and childcare provision. This will be used by the Early Years and Childcare Service for assessing the sufficiency of provision, and will be published to Find Childcare, a searchable directory of childcare in Devon for parents to view information about your services depending on your consent levels. This is a tool for you to advertise your business. If you do not have your own website, your listing on Find Childcare may be helpful for your Ofsted inspector as part of the planning and preparation stage undertaken before inspections. Assessing the sufficiency of provision and providing information to parents are both statutory duties for Devon County Council as set out in Early Education and Childcare Statutory Guidance for Local Authorities. So how does it work? Imagine the system is a filing cabinet and the records of providers are the hanging files inside your filing cabinet. Information is put into and taken out of the files, and there is plenty of room to add more files because the filing cabinet is huge. It is also secure and can be locked so the information isn't made available to the wrong people. The Early Years and Childcare Service look after the filing cabinet and then put some of that information onto a website for parents. All providers will be asked to enter their details using the Provider Self-Update section of the provider portal. This will include things like contact details, opening times, and the age range they work with. So who needs to complete the Provider Self-Update? The Early Years and Childcare Service have a duty to assess the sufficiency of all childcare. This means all provision for children aged from birth to 16-year-olds or up to 18-year-olds with additional needs will be asked to complete the Provider Self-Update. This includes both Ofsted registered and unregistered provision. This is how providers and their services are set up. One provider may run different services, such as a before-school club, a day nursery, after-school club, holiday club, or weekend club. Providers must complete the Provider Self-Update for each service they run. Providers who are in receipt of the Early Years funding, known as funded providers, are required to complete the Provider Self-Update as well as the Early Years Census in the spring term as part of the provider agreement. Funded providers already use the provider portal to complete headcount tasks, validate 30-hour codes, and claim disability access funding. The Provider Self-Update is another section of the provider portal. When do I need to complete the Provider Self-Update? Please complete it as soon as possible. You only need to complete the full Provider Self-Update and go through all the screens once. Once you have completed it and entered all your details, you only need to go into the Provider Self-Update and make updates as and when there is a change to your provision, or if you set up a new service. Periodically, we will contact you to make sure your details are up to date. If there are no changes, you can click a button to say "No changes required." Funded private, voluntary and independent providers will receive a message at the appropriate time in spring term when they must also complete the Early Years Census. What will be published to Find Childcare? On the Consent tab of the Provider Self-Update, you will be asked to give consent to publish certain details to Find Childcare. This is a searchable directory that will replace Pinpoint from the end of 2023. The more consents you give, the more information can be displayed and advertised to parents to enable them to make a quick and informed choice about the childcare they may wish to use. More information on which details are published is available in the guidance notes. You will also be asked to agree to a data privacy statement, which sets out your agreement to provide accurate and up-to-date information about your provision. This will all be used in accordance with our privacy policy. What do I do now? Please take the time to watch the training videos and read the guidance notes and complete the Provider Self-Update. For more information, please visit devon.cc/psu or email childcareinfo@devon.gov.uk. You can also follow us on Facebook and X. Thanks for watching.